on the Sooner Sports Network from Learfield, live at Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. This is Sooner Sports Talk, presented by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, bringing you the best in real Texas barbecue. Sooner Sports Talk is also brought to you by Riverwind Casino. Good times, great rewards. And by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. This is Sooner Sports Talk. Now, here are your hosts, Teddy Lehman, and the voice of the Sooners, Toby Rowland.
All right, hi, everybody. Welcome to Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue on a Monday night. We're talking OU football. That, at the end, is the Butkus and Bednarik Award winner, the best color analyst in college football. And it's his birthday today, Teddy Lehman. Everybody.
Old man, 43, T-Row.
43.
43.
43. Brent Venables also in the house, everybody, the head coach of the Sooners.
53.
53?
53.
53.
Man, 43. How about that? Happy birthday, Ted.
I appreciate that,
Good
Toby.
to see you. How are you doing tonight, Coach?
Doing good.
Good. How
Yeah,
was the
doing
bye
well.
week?
It was a good week.
Good.
Yeah, it was good.
How did we use the bye week with the team? You had two different ones. Did you do them the same, or did you change anything up this time around?
We practiced on Monday evening, a light practice, just a 10-period practice, no pads, corrections and things like that. And then they had a couple days of lifting in during the week. Tuesday they had a career fair, and we had it's like 30 companies here, basically just networking and just looking ahead. You know, when football's done and then Wednesday we practiced full pads in a good, hard, tough practice. And then Thursday was we met in the morning and then practiced again in a vested practice, a little bit lighter than Wednesday's practice. And then Friday through the weekend they were off. Yeah.
Now, let's go back to the Missouri game. What were your thoughts coming out of that one?
Yeah, like I said after the game, just incredibly disappointed, heartbroken for the guys. They had fought so hard and did so many good things, and you know, winning doesn't negotiate. That's one thing I try to tell them, and so you know the thing that we didn't do well, take care of the ball, and Missouri hung in there. We let them hang in there, and you know, they found a way late to make a couple of plays, really good plays. Our half-field player falls down on 3rd and 16, and they drop it in there to Luther Burden, and then I think 2 plays later they hit a really nice, you know, Eli Bones in great position, great technique, and they made a play. And but again, there were some things that were really good. Our defense really dominated for a good part of the game, for most of the game, and had some great stops. Kicking game played well, other than a muff punt that turned into 3 points. And we ran the ball really pretty dang good. But just we've had a hard time all year creating explosive plays. And when you're not making layups, when guys are open and you're not getting them the ball, when those are some of the primary reads, or you know, everything else in your football team, you know, feels the pressure. You know, it can't just like evaporate and not have an effect on the game. When you're not doing those things, those other areas of your team feel that pressure, and it makes it all really, really hard. And so everything has been a little more challenging for us as a whole, you know, particularly again on offense. And some of it's whether you're turning the ball over and giving the ball back to really good teams, or you're not doing the things that allow you to be able to get into a rhythm. And in the first half, we're settling for field goals instead of, you know, what potentially can be touchdowns, and that's the trade-off. And when you settle for too many field goals against good teams, it just puts you in a lot more, disadvantage, position. And you look at our losses this year, how many times that we've had the ball in plus territory, and in our losses this year, you know, we're scoring only on 47% of drives that are end in plus territory, and 47% is not a good percentage. And you get the ball past midfield, you got to score at a rate closer to 80% than 47%. So those are, again, the margin for error we know is going to be razor thin when you play, against good people. When you get the ball into plus territory, man, that's when your players, you got to make plays. You got to make them on defense. They made a few there late. Their offense did. They knocked the ball out of our hands there late and scoop it and score. They made a play in those when we were backed up, but when we get into plus territory, we haven't been great at making plays, particularly in again our losses. And I think that we're 12-0 on the year when we've won the last 2 years when we won the turnover battle, and our record's not very good. And that's, we know that. I'm speaking on something that most people know. Nothing affects a game like turnovers, and so if we can clean the turnover piece up, and then again, do a little better job of making layups against good people. When you have well-designed plays, and when guys are running good routes, and we go through our progression, we're telling them the right things. You got to pull the trigger. You got to make those plays. You got to hold on to the ball, and if you do that, that's usually a recipe for winning. And so. Again, you look at, and again, we have faced, the gauntlet when it comes to the best defenses in college football. And there's been some times when we've done some really great things against them, and we just haven't been able to sustain those things. And so we just got to get better, and that's what we focus on. The formula doesn't change, in regards to what it takes to win. And again, as we said, winning doesn't negotiate. These are the things that you need to do well. And we've got to have good game control. We've got to have good control the field position. We've got to be able to stop the run. We've got to be able to run the ball efficiently. We need to create explosive plays, and we got to stay away from the negative plays. Tackles for loss, which we've been a little better. Last week we were a little better at that. I thought protection. On the day, overall, it was good enough to win. Mm-hmm. The protection was good enough to win, and that's what I look at. We're good enough to win. Because, again, you're going against really good people. We're not going against a bunch of stiffs. And so that's what it's all relative to. And so you can go back to the last several weeks of the teams that we've played, and there are no gimmies in that regard. So, but I just look at, again, we've had last week was a pretty good week, and we started off the week this week, all the good stuff that, because I've said several times, well, we actually practiced pretty good. Well, you got to be able to take that to the game. Game day matters, and you have to be able to take it to those moments. And when those moments happen, this is a game of performance and a game of execution. And players got to make plays. We got to make blocks. We got to, make stops. And the first drive of the 2-minute drive rather. On defense, they have a formation in the boundary, and we're supposed to be in a certain coverage where we're playing an inside leverage, not an outside leverage. So we're in a good position from a spacing standpoint. Like if they go everybody over here into the boundary and they got one out here, let's get an inside position and help over the top. And we had done that a couple of times in the game and done it right, but in that moment. They run a slant route, and they got a great drive starter. When you get in those 2-minute situations, you tell in order to have a successful 2-minute, you say, man, let's get a positive play, take no sacks, and then when you get into the red zone, man, we got to score touchdowns down there, and so right away we give them an opportunity to get into a nice rhythm on a slant route that they hit on a runner, but we got to 3rd and 10 a couple of times, but we didn't do some little things. We're trying to flush the quarterback, and we're trying to flush him to the B gap, and we don't run the stunt right. We don't get to the B gap. Next thing you know, he buys some extra time, and then we get a holding call, and which or interference call, whatever it was on Woody, and. I didn't love the call, but it's the right call. We shouldn't have let him get out there and buy that extra time. And so those are the differences between winning and losing. And again, that's a team that had won, I think, 17 of their last 21 games. And so again, you can't make it easy on them. And again, the turnovers are, it goes without saying. We had some other good things. Had that nice punt team executed the nice fake down there. Yeah. same thing. We get the quick turnover, and we don't get the offense. They're not ready to go. I mean, they thought that it's not like it's a change of possession. That's a turnover. They don't treat it the same. And but we did have, again, 2 plays where we got guys wide open, and we gotta make people pay when that happens.
All right, we'll take a break. We're going to talk about the upcoming showdown with Alabama when we come up. Opening segment brought to you by Noble McIntyre, McIntyre Law, the law firm you should turn to for all your personal injury needs. More with Brent Venables next. Stay with us.
Sooner Sports Talk is brought to you by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, bringing you the best in real Texas barbecue. Walden Cleaners and Laundry, where the difference is quality. Riverwind Casino, good times, great rewards. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Bob Moore Ford is proud to honor service members through the Patriot of the Game. Log on to Soonersports.com/kids for information about joining the Sooner Junior Kids Club presented by OG&E and brought to you in part by Orthodontics exclusively, Mathis Home, and Devon Energy.
All right, welcome back to Rudy's, everybody. Alongside Teddy and Coach Venables, Toby Rowland with you. The segment brought to you by Dos Equis, the official import beer of OU Athletics. Go for Dos. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. You were talking about making layups in that last segment. Both of your quarterbacks this year, we've seen flashes from Jackson Arnold that can show us what he can be. He's had rough games like he did at Missouri. Same with Michael Hawkins. Where are you right now, do you feel like, with your quarterbacks?
Well, I think they learn from all of it. The good and the bad. It's not a lot of fun when you have to teach through failure, but that's the best opportunity to learn and grow and improve. So I think our staff has done a nice job of, looking at, that with our players. And certainly, I do that as well. So I'll take, the last week's game and go through the plays that maybe we missed. And I'll intercut it with, have one of our analysts intercut it with same play, same formation, same route, same defense. We'll do like 3 NFL clips, and we'll do 3 college clips. Just back to back to back. So now you're looking at 7 plays, our bad play, and then just, hey, look, what we're doing, what you're seeing, it's all the same. And watch them, again, execute, So I think that's a really good. It's an opportunity from a confidence standpoint. It's like, look, this isn't complicated. Look at several different quarterbacks, several different teams, several different defenses. Be exposed to these plays. Maybe we had a nice little arc screen and go off of a motion that got to a 3-by-1. It's a touchdown, and they got a 5-man pressure coming, and the stack defender is give or take 6 yards, from, us, and really 6 yards from the line of scrimmage, and we run it the right way, and it gets open within probably it's under 2 seconds. It works just like we hoped it would, and we take our eyes off of that back to the pressure, and so again, I think we put like 6 different NFL clips that runs the same exact, different ways to get to it. Maybe it's outside in and back out. Maybe it's across the formation. Maybe it's a orbit return. All the different ways. And the college play, same thing. And every one of them are wide open. You got Lloyd and Harry out there trying to communicate on the field and pass off the 2 receivers. And guess what happens? Somebody's wide open, and it happens a lot. And it happened there. But that's one example that we just got to be a little more consistent at making, some of those. To me, that's a layup. And timing was good. The play design was good. We got exactly the look that we wanted. Now you got to make people pay.
Now, we did get to see Farouk and Burks came back, and I know Burks took the shot late, but it's been a while since those guys have been out there. How do you think they performed?
Yeah, I was proud of them. It's not like they've been practicing for 3 weeks getting ready for that game either. So they're coming off a little bit, rusty in endurance, and I thought they battled. They were great leaders. They had their juice, and having them back gave everybody a little more confidence, and it was just really good for them and their confidence and trying to, finish off their careers here over the next, several months. Getting back into the swing of things. It's a really hard, challenging thing when you're an older guy and you've been, sidelined for such a long time. But to get him back out there was great for offense, good shot in the arm, and hoping to build upon, that here these last few weeks.
The fourth quarter drive, you went on to tie the game, largely on the shoulders of a true freshman. Xavier Robinson was fantastic there for you late.
Yeah.
Let's talk about him a little bit.
Yeah, so one of the best athletes on our team. He literally, and he did it in high school, but he could come over and be a really good linebacker. He can be a great tight end. He's got fantastic hands. His ability to locate the ball down the field. We've used him, early in the season on the scout team. We're really deep at running back, and when everybody's healthy, Sawchuk and Barnes and Sam Franklin and Taylor Tatum, Caleb Hicks, we got a really good group of players there. But had a couple of guys that were banged up and didn't travel, and so Xavier got his opportunity, and man, did he ran strong. He ran with great instincts. Ran through trash. He ran with the right pace and tempo. He's a great changeup for what, we've had there. Even, he's a different kind of physicality even than Javonte. Javonte's going to ram it up in there, and try to run everybody over. Xavier has the ability to run through and run over people, but he's got a really nice tempo to him with excellent instincts, and he understands how to set up blocks and allow blocks to develop, and the holes that don't seem like they're there, he knows when they're going to be there. And he knows how to attack the right edges to get the defender in a position of disadvantage. And I think you saw him. The result was him falling forward a lot there. And late in the game, when they're a little bit winded, that was a really good change of pace for our guys.
Billy Bowman on the defensive side, I thought had an incredible game. Obviously had the scoop and score touchdown, but had the one-on-one play with Burden in the back of the end zone where he's in great position. But that fourth down stop on that jet sweep was that was awesome.
Was that not great?
That was crazy.
Unbelievable.
Such a physical hit, and you're right. He played his butt off. He was really, really good, and he was physical. The scoop and score is about time, for us. But really, really proud of Billy, and again, a guy that chose to come back. Here's a play early in the game there that they're trying to get the ball out on the perimeter and make a play in space, and you get him here tracking the ball. So these are all his plays, I guess, huh? You guys are ready for this.
We're ready for you. Billy Bowman.
Here's the 4th and 1 that they lose yardage on, and man, he really planted him right there, knocked the paint off his helmet. And this one here, this is one of the more difficult, challenging plays when you're just one-on-one, and it seems like you're in coverage forever there, and makes a great heads-up play, and certainly he does here as well up the sideline. And in a game where, again, you love your odds, and been in this situation a lot of times in 30 years, and just felt heartbroken again for our guys that we gave up that drive, because I bet you the numbers would say we've gotten off the field, 95% of the time, and again, they made a few plays, and our half-field player on the deep ball there just got caught a little bit shallow, and his legs crossed over, and he falls down, and the quarterback finds the ball in there, drops it in there, and it makes a really nice play, and then the next play to seal it there.
Big picture locker room question. You're not, record-wise where you hope to be at this point. You got 2 big tests left to try to keep the bowl streak going here. Be real easy right now to have the Daubers down, especially after that game in Missouri. What's the mood, the atmosphere that you feel heading into these final 2 giant tests from your guys?
Yeah, man, we've got 18 seniors going to play in their last game, and guys that, again, are heavily invested. These guys care deeply. They've fought their butt off all year. There's not a game where you came off the field and said, our guys didn't fight back. I haven't sensed that and seen that whatsoever. And these guys believe in themselves. And that's not an easy thing to maintain. And but I think when you look back at it post-game, again, there's several things that, again, this is the ultimate team sport. But when you look at the body of work, special teams wise, we've moved up over 100 spots from where we were a year ago at this time. Over 100. We were 117th, and we're a top 12 unit and number 1 or number 2 in the SEC. And defensively, we were pretty good on defense last year. We've jumped 40 and 50 and 60 spots in several categories across the board. And we've defended the most possessions in college football. And it's not because we've been hurrying up a lot, like we did 2 years ago. It's really because we've had a lot of 3 and outs. But the defense has continued to fight and has been a strong point each and every week. Not without flaw, but they've been really good. I know we're still not where we want to be pass defense-wise, but we jumped 50 spots today. We're 50 spots better than where we were a year ago at this time. We trimmed off 40 yards a game in pass defense, and it's easy to find your flaws when you're not winning as a team, and we certainly have got plenty of warts as a football team, but man, there's a lot of bright spots, and it's a sign of our guys, the talent, the work, the belief, the continued fight, the continued week in and week out reinvestment, which is not an easy thing to do. It's testament to coaches, doing some good things too. I know not many good things that the coaches have done this year, but a few, and we've had a chance in each and every game, and we've played 7,044 reps with freshmen and sophomores this year, which is some of that number will be right up there with any team in college football. It'll be in the top 3 probably % in college football as far as youth playing 7,044 snaps of freshmen or sophomores. And we've played 14 true freshmen past their 4-game limit, and 7 on defense and 7 on offense. Some of it has been because of some injuries, particularly on the offensive side of the ball, and some of it's because the guys are really talented, like a Taylor Tatum, like an Xavier Robinson,
Jaden Jackson.
That's what we have at quarterback, young guys there, and then, but several guys, Eli Bowen, Jaden Jackson. Those are 2 starters on a really good defense. And there are several other guys that have played, really big roles for us, as the season has progressed. And so a lot of, great things, for our guys to continue to see. And even in the middle of a mess that the season, has been, there are some things that the players, they see it too. It's not like we sit around and we beat our chest with it, but my job is to make sure that they have the right perspective, and we're fighting our butt off. Our job is to win games. Period. That's a benchmark that you always hold above everything else. But at the same time, they need to be recognized when they're doing some good things. And so how do we get a little bit better and find a way to get to number 6, and then the following week to number 7. And if we do the things that winning requires, and don't try to negotiate, because winning doesn't negotiate, we'll get the result that we want. But we've got to be able to take those things from practice. Again, just simple things, the basics, not big things. But it would be good to connect on some explosives in both the run and the pass game, and we're due for that. And then again, just take care of the ball, and then be who we've been in the other phases.
Take a break. It's the Crimson and Cream and Crimson Tide coming up Saturday night in Norman. We'll preview the showdown with Alabama ahead on Sooner Sports Talk with Brent Venables.
Sooner Sports Talk is brought to you by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, bringing you the best in real Texas barbecue. Walden Cleaners and Laundry, where the difference is quality. Riverwind Casino, good times, great rewards. Bud Light, easy to drink. Sooner Sports Talk is brought to you by Norman Hyundai, your premier Hyundai dealership for new and used cars. The best place to gear up for game day is shop.soonersports.com. The Sooner Sports Podcast is your all-access audio pass to Sooner Sports. Listen as Toby Rowland and Chris Plank talk all things Sooners. New episodes drop every day. Log on to Soonersports.com/podcast or search Sooner Sports Podcast in your favorite podcast provider. Presented by Allstate and Riverwind Casino. Orthodontics exclusively is proud to sponsor the Junior Captain of the game. Junior Captain is the ultimate fan experience for children grades 3 through 7.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This segment brought to you by the Riverwind Casino. Good times, great rewards. Sooners and the Crimson Tide coming up 6:30 kickoff Saturday on Owen Field. Teddy, what you got?
Yeah, Alabama coming to town. They had some rough spots early on, but they've gotten it together. Led by the quarterback Milroe. What do you think of him?
Yeah, well, both sides of the ball. They've been, but Milroe is one of the most dynamic players in all of college football. His speed is real.
Looks like a linebacker playing quarterback.
I remember the night when Georgia got beat by him, and some of the plays you saw in that game by him and Ryan Williams. But they're playing really good football right now, both sides of the ball. Incredibly talented. Coach DeBoer and his staff done a great job at finding out what they can do well and keeping the ball in their playmakers' hands. And they got a bunch of them, a bunch of playmakers. But it's a great challenge. I mean, this is something you just can't wait to put your feet on the ground in the morning. And I say that, very genuinely, that you love this type of a challenge, and our players do as well. They recognize the physical, the mental, the fundamental challenge that this team presents on both sides of the ball. And the kicking game, we have last year our analyst Jay Nunez. They hired him from us when we got hired there last year, or January, whenever that was. But they're playing really, really good football right now. One of the best teams in college football.
Schedule comes out, way back when, and you see the end, Bama at LSU, and you're like, oh my, this is why you're in the SEC, right?
Yeah, that's right.
This is the kind of stuff that you look forward to, right?
Yeah. Again, great. Again, we're not trying to look ahead going to Death Valley. We got enough things to look at this week.
You got another night game down there, by the way.
That's what I hear. Yeah. That's what I hear. So right on time, right on schedule. And it's, again, great. To me, it's a great opportunity. And, to do, again, the unthinkable and to finish the season, on a really high note and to try to put it all together and play our best 4 quarters of complimentary football.
There is no great option, but with their offense, is the key to stop the run and force him to beat you from the pocket? Is that the hope with them?
Well, yeah. I mean, we know, again, as I said, they've got as good a collection of receivers, backs, tight ends as there is in the country.
But what 3 or 4 guys averaging over 5 yards a carry? So,
yeah, they can. So you got to play well in all the areas. You can't play terrible, in these 2 areas, but you did this really well and then beat them. And you're not going to luck up. You're not going to sneak up. You're going to have to out-execute them and play well overall as a football. Hey, man, they played well. That's how you beat them. When you watched Vanderbilt beat them, you said, well, Vanderbilt played good complementary football. Nothing flukish. They possessed the ball. They ran it. They converted in critical situations. They made some plays, which you're going to have to do too. A quarterback from Vanderbilt, man, he made some plays when they had it all bottled up. He made a play. He sustained drives. He never gave the ball back. He didn't give it back to him and let him try to run down the field and go score. So those are things that you have to be able to do. You got to be able to step on their throat. You got to be able to slam the door. You got to make competitive plays. It's going to be a physical, bloodbath. This is a team that they're going to be physical. If they're going to be something, they're going to be really physical. And so that piece of it, the offensive line, you got some young guys there. They've been getting a little bit better, and they're playing more physical, is what you see. And our receivers are blocking with a little more physicality. And our tight ends have improved with their blocking, chipping and things of that nature. Just getting better with the timing and the physicality of it. So this is going to be a great litmus test for us and a great opportunity.
Not the first time you've seen these guys. You played them a bunch in your OU days and certainly in your Clemson days.
Yeah.
What's your favorite memory against Alabama? Could be a game or a moment, or what's your favorite memory?
I would just go back to the first time here, and when Coach Francione had the group in wasn't that when they came in here?
Yeah, 02.
And they started the game with an onside kick, and it worked. Teddy, you dropped one.
No.
It was yeah, you did. They started the game, and they got one,
half.
and then the second half they did it again, and we gave it back to them again.
Faked a field goal.
They faked the field goal and got it. They faked a punt and got it. And
this is his favorite memory, by the way, folks.
Well,
Yeah.
it's because we won. That game is defined by Ronaldo Works,
Right.
out of the little two-back set there.
Bassey? Is he the one?
And then Ebass had a scoop score. And
If we just could have lined up right to 22.
oh, my God.
You recovered
Teddy
a fumble.
and I,
Was it that game you recovered a
I don't
fumble?
know,
We
but-
showed a highlight last time.
Well, he dropped the punt on the side, or the kickoff return on the side. That's the one we're going to remember tonight.
Gotcha.
On his birthday, and then so that was just no way. And there's no way that any other team in college football history has done the things that we did and still won the game. There's no way.
Yeah.
And then but we did, and then we go to Alabama the next year, and in the third quarter, we're backed up, and we had gotten to a rut. We had the lead, maybe by 3, and we had the lead. But man, they played Sweet Home Alabama because they had like 2 or 3 stops in a row, and you could feel the tide. No pun intended. The tide was changing. And so we're backed up, whatever, inside our own 30. And Coach Stoops, I was the punt team coordinator, and he says, "Is the fake there?" And so in the out of season, we had studied Alabama. They had a new coordinator on their special teams. And every time you went an end over set, they brought max blitz on your punt for punt block 100% of the time over like a 2-year period of time. So I've been sitting there and I'm like, hell yeah, it's there. When you've been working that hard, and this is the spot of the field that you don't do that.
Yeah.
And so he goes, he's got the whole staff on there. He's like, I think we're going to go for it. And Mike Stoops says, go for what? And he's like, whatever we called it, like Omaha was our fake punt. And he's like, no way. Punt the damn ball. We'll stop him. I'm going for it. So we run a little screen. We have our wingback, Mike Thompson, who was coming off a devastating car accident and could barely run without falling over. And we got him at the wingback, and we're going to run the screen to him. So he's going to act like he blocks. Here comes the max blitz, and then he turns around and flick it to him. And it worked to perfection. And he catches it, and he turns, and he runs. I think he fell down.
He bobbled it for like 10 yards, didn't it?
But, man, he was in the clear. It was like 4th and 7, 4th and 8, backed up. And, man, we flipped it. I think maybe a play or 2 later, we hit Brandon Jones for a post route for a touchdown, and I think we won by 10.
Yeah.
And so those are – and then probably the most talented Alabama team ever in 2018, winning that one 44-16 for a national championship. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Take a break. One more segment with Coach Venables when we come back here at Rudy's.
We want to thank all of our Sooner Radio Network affiliates across the state and region. Fans can check out Soonersports.com for an affiliate in your area. And if you're traveling outside the state of Oklahoma, you can listen to all the action on either SiriusXM Radio or download the Varsity Network app and listen free. OU's 2024 football games are available on Exodus 96.5 FM in Oklahoma City and 101.5 FM El Patron in Tulsa, as well as on those stations' websites. Each OU Spanish broadcast will feature a 30-minute pregame show and a 15-minute postgame show. Oklahoma Buick GMC dealers. See your Oklahoma Buick GMC dealer.
All right, welcome back to Rudy's. Our final segment with Coach here brought to you by Pike Pass. Make it home safe, Oklahoma. Coach, we, of course, as a Sooner Nation, have been following along and saying prayers for your wife the last couple of years. Can you give us an update on Julie?
Yeah, so she's doing good. Back in May, she went through some testing and had some elevated blood work, and so got it checked out, and her cancer had returned, and so she we put together a really good game plan. We consulted with lots of different people, and went to New York City. They've got a really good specialty hospital there, and so for the last several months she's been going back and forth and doing her chemo treatments there, and then last Monday she had a surgery to remove her lymph nodes and her tumor, and she's doing amazing. You know, she's her spirit and her strength are just nothing short of amazing. So we've got a great team and great faith, and it's in God's hands. But part of that battle, a big part of the battle, is her willingness to fight and keep swinging. So that's what she's doing.
Well, football's a big deal around here, but that's the biggest deal. So I know that you've been kind of carrying that burden alone for a while now. So you got a whole bunch of people that are praying for you and praying for Julie, most importantly, the rest of the way.
Yeah.
Teddy?
Well, that's a tough one to follow, but I'm anxious that you guys get this one done against Alabama, and just any final thoughts on that football game, like how to get it done, like the way you see the formula going to come out with a win.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the lines of scrimmage are going to be incredibly important. So whether that's running or it's protecting, it's creating pressure on defense. Turnovers can be a huge part of this game because we haven't been able to get a really good lead on anybody. People haven't really exposed themselves to turnovers. It's been a little harder because people are not forced to play a certain kind of way that makes them vulnerable, and so but turnovers will be a huge part of this game. Make no mistake. Trying to prevent big plays. We've been really good top to bottom on the year from where we were a year ago. I think we're 40-plus spots better, maybe even better than that, than in big plays, and that'll be a huge part. This is an explosive offense, and so minimizing that explosiveness will be critical. The kicking game will be as important as it's been in any single game so far this year. And but taking care of the ball on offense, and having a day where we look back and we've created some explosive plays on offense that puts Alabama in a different kind of position. And that to me, that's the formula for winning.
Rudy's question of the night. Rudy's Real Texas Barbecue, Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. It's senior night. You're going to have several, but 2 and 28 came back this year.
Yeah.
Didn't have to, and they came back for you this year. And I know all of these guys, Ethan and Trey, they're all special to you, but boy, Danny and Billy, I think, really deserve a great send-off Saturday night. No,
absolutely. And that's the message to, the rest of the locker room. That's what these guys deserve is to go out with a win, and that would be a tremendous send-off for those guys. I'm incredibly thankful and proud of those guys. Everything that they've invested in this program, they've brought nothing but honor and respect to the Sooner brand, and as keepers of the jersey, these are two guys that I know everybody are incredibly proud of and thankful for. All of their hard work, their sacrifice, their leadership, their play, and they're going to have amazing futures once they leave here. So love those guys.
Go get them, man.
Yeah, man.
Go get them on Saturday night.
Thanks.
Brent Venables, everybody. Teddy and I will wrap it up next here at Rudy's.
Thank you to our Cornerstone Television partners, OU Health, OG&E, Fowler Auto Group, and Coca-Cola.
All right, here we go. This is that OU Alabama game back in 02. Teddy
nice.
Lehman, Johnny on the spot, and then get that out of here. He thought he had a catch. Teddy Lehman breaking it up. That's how you win a Butkus Award right there, ladies and gentlemen. That was the last time, the only time Alabama has been on Owen Field. They'll be here again Saturday night, 6:30, to take on the Sooners. Final segment brought to you by your Oklahoma Buick GMC dealers. Any big takeaway from Coach tonight before I get your bold prediction?
Well, I don't know. It feels like the team, given the circumstances, in a good place, and with those seniors coming out, they're going to be amped up. A huge opportunity to take something really big and positive away. So, they're coming off a bye week. I don't know where we are exactly health-wise with everyone, but, everything's lining up to put out a really good, strong effort.
What kind of atmosphere are we going to have Saturday night on Owen Field?
I can't imagine it's not fantastic.
Yeah.
This is a huge opportunity. Now, do we wish this was like for a playoff spot? Absolutely, but it's a great opportunity to send those guys off as you put earlier, and it's a night game against Alabama. What else could you ask for, right?
Yeah, be fun. All right, we need your bold prediction before we get out of here. We've already recorded. Josh said OU forces 3 turnovers. Josh Norman. Gabe Eichert said OU holds Milroe to under 100 yards rushing.
Mm-hmm.
Mine was Danny Stutzman in his final game on Owen Field will come up with a turnover. What's your bold prediction?
I think we have a scoop and score touchdown.
Another one?
Yeah. The last time we beat them, didn't Geno Grissom have one?
Yeah.
Someone defensively did. Either
Geno Grissom, 2013. Striker the hit, Grissom the scoop.
2002, we had a scoop and score touchdown on defense.
Yeah.
Eric Bassey. We didn't in 03, but I don't know. It seems like that's a piece of the recipe to beat Alabama for Oklahoma.
Billy again?
Sure.
Okay. Well,
absolutely.
Why not, right?
He's the one that typically scores all the touchdowns defensively.
Pre-game coverage on Sooner Radio. We'll have it for you starting at 3:30 on Saturday afternoon. Kickoff then just after 6:30. Oklahoma and Alabama. Should be a special night. We'll see you there. We'll see you back here next Monday. Boomer Sooner.
Sooner Sports Talk has been brought to you by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, bringing you the best in real Texas barbecue. And by Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Sooner Sports Network.